Good morning. How's everybody doing today? So, what we're going to talk about today is the calorie paradox, what you actually see in the mirror and what other people see, and how you can begin to love yourself again. So, starting with the calorie paradox, when I was saying around 16 years old, began to get really more into nutrition, started learning a lot about calorie counting. And yes, it's important. In and out's very, very important. But so somebody who's going through a struggling in stress and maybe be depressed or something. Also, any of this that you are struggling through, you should find certified and professional help. That's definitely something that you want to reach out to and find. And some of the stuff that I'm saying may not work for you. Just be aware of that, okay? This is not the perfect way to do things. These are just what I went through, and if it helps anybody, that's great. So the calorie paradox. So I learned about counting calories. In and out's pretty. I mean, they're finding some science that's saying that it's not all black and white, but it's important. So for me, when things were spiraling out of control in my life with my family, um, it was kind of a way for me to have control. Like when I exercised, I was in control of that time, and I could control what I was eating. And it was kind of a way to run away from everything that was going on around me. So calorie counting was almost a way to hide in a sense and to have control again in my life. So that's really the paradox of it. Calorie counting is supposed to be there for you to know how much energy you're inputting for the activities you're doing. I mean, hunger is a great sign for that, but if you're putting in the wrong nutrition on one end, maybe you're eating garbage, maybe you're eating sugar and whatnot, it's important to know calorie for nutrition. So if I'm eating, let's say, like a salad that had lots of nutrients in it versus I was eating sugar and I was eating a couple pieces of sugary candy, and I went calorie for calorie. Calories are important. Yes, your body knows mostly just calories, but nutrients are also important. So that's one part of the paradox, and another part of the paradox is the control. You want to be fueling your body for what you're doing, is what I just said. And what I tried to do was that I tried to keep my calories as low as possible to show, in a sense, to me how much I could do without eating much, and because I wanted to be so thin. So it's a paradox that you list some control with rather than using it for what it's originally made for, which is knowing how much energy is going into your body so that you know somewhat how much you're burning and you can kind of balance them out. And that's what's really important about the calorie paradox there. The next bit would have to be the what you see in the mirror. So what I saw in the mirror is I saw somebody who still had about 5 or 10 pounds to lose, and this was after I was extremely thin, and somebody who didn't like feeling full. So I just snack on really small things. Somebody who just liked to eat salad because it was lighter. See, a couple of those things are fine. Like wanting to have some light snacks and wanting to feel lighter is fine. But going back to the paradox of controlling the calories, that becomes a problem. So you also want to control how your body looks, and you might, I mean, on some level you can help to control that, on other levels you can't. You gotta accept who you are, and it's not, you don't have to be the thinnest in the world. Like if that's your goal, that's one thing. You might need professional guidance, just so you're safe with that. But on another level, you can be who you are. I mean, everybody's body's going to be different. We're all different shapes and sizes. We all come from different backgrounds and certain things. So your body's going to be a little different. You got to learn to love it. And that took me a long time to realize. I started struggling when I was 15, and I didn't start loving my body again until I was 21 years old. So that took about 6 years, which, I mean, may sound long to some, not long to others, but it takes a while to love your body again and realize that going back to that calorie paradox and the way you look, fueling your body for life, so not living to eat, but eating to live, is something that I've been told a lot and that I say a lot now. It's important to do that. in exchange for a better quality of life. So that's something to also take care of. So calorie paradox, the look in the mirror, those are two very important things that I really wanted to touch on today, because they're ways that we kind of control our stress in our life, and they're things that we need to get clear on for what they're really there for. I mean, I sometimes I would like to take the mirror and get rid of it for a lot of people who are struggling with this, because it's how they assess their self-worth when they're really a lot more than that. And also stress-wise, it's how they control things when really, if there's something out of your control, that's completely fine. But this is something, what you eat and what you do, is a lot of it's in your control, and you should be building yourself up rather than putting yourself down. I know a lot of people that do struggle with eating disorders are commonly people pleasers, and commonly people that, and this is just what I've seen, I don't know if this is exactly statistically proven, but they're commonly people pleasers from what I've seen and known, and so they, they don't really do much for themselves as well. So they need to see themselves as important and purposeful, and once you can find that in yourself and begin to love yourself again, it becomes rather easy to get back on the path. I shouldn't say easy, it was never easy, it took years. It took almost 8-9 years to fully, I'd call it full recovery, but there's always still some lapses, which is going to happen for anybody, and it's like this battle in your mind that keeps going back and forth. But I'll talk more about that in other videos. But once you can find purpose and love for yourself, it really begins to help, and I wish I had known that earlier. So good luck, everybody, and have a great day.